I am the program coordinator here at FD, and I am pretty much hosting this little Q&A. If you guys have any, or if you all have any questions while we're going through anything, please feel free to throw them in the chat, and we'll get to a larger Q&A at the end. But I'm joined this afternoon, by my colleague, Katniss, or Angelina, nickname is Katniss, and then some of our alumni who you'll hear from in just a little bit. But we'll just go ahead and get started. Um, Sounds like some people know each other in here, which is pretty cool. Um, FD, if you don't already know, we were founded in 2001 by professional kayaker Brad Ludden. He's still involved with us today. We work pretty closely with him, which is really awesome. And yeah, as you can read, and what you probably all know, is that we serve the young adult community impacted by cancer, MS, and other serious health conditions. We also include your caregivers if they fit within that age range, and healthcare workers as well who are in those spaces. Next, please. Great. So what do? We have three pillars of service. We have our core program, or our week-long core programs, which is probably why you are all here, for the information on that. These are really great. We center them around, well, I wouldn't say center them around, excuse me. A component of them are these amazing activities like whitewater kayaking, surfing, and rock climbing. Each week is different depending on which one you choose. Our second pillar is community adventures. These are year-round, locally led meetups, activities that our alumni usually host. So if a week-long activity or a week-long program isn't in your schedule, you can always check out our community adventures. And those, yeah, again, are low cost, year-round. You can check out the calendar. We threw out some links in that top chat little bubble, so go ahead and check those out. And then our last pillar of service is lifestyle. So that includes nutrition and mindfulness, and just using those as tools in your everyday life. And like I mentioned, you are all probably here to get more info on our core programs. So I'm actually going to pass it over to Katniss, and she's going to be able to give you all a little spiel about what to expect, a little more info on it.
Summer. So I am Katniss. That is my nickname. My real birth name is Angelina. But at First Descents, a little tradition that we have here is nicknaming. We use it in our office. We use it on programs. It's supposed to be fun, light, and kind of takes on a different thing for each person. Sometimes you're gifted a nickname. Sometimes, it chooses you. Not something to worry about, but is just a little fun component that we do, and kind of allows you to shed a bit about, maybe whatever you're bringing into the program. For me, it was like this identity of being a patient and like always like kind of being like cared on in that way, and wanting to have something powerful and different that everyone could cheer when I was climbing the rock and doing those things. And so that was Katniss for me, and what I took on. But we have our programs where everyone's going to join the first day and not really know anyone. It'd be like 12 to 14 participants on a program, and we're all in the same boat. I attended as an oncology participant years ago, but everyone that would be joining you would be also living with MS and living with similar things. And it becomes a natural point of conversation. It's not necessarily something that we must talk about, but it's something that we're all managing or dealing with in some way. And so it becomes just a, oh yeah, I've got, this infusion this day, and knowing what that's like, balancing that with your daily life as a young adult. And it becomes just a really wonderful community. So obviously, we've got our action shot up here. We've got our rock climbing, our kayaking, our surfing. Definitely amazing draws to the program. And there is an adventure component in getting you outside and using your body in a different way, and maybe reintroducing you to your body in a new way, in a powerful way. Uh, but I wouldn't say it's just about that outdoor adventure. We also have so much community. That's that common language, the just shared experience of life. And one of the most impactful things that I think we provide on these programs is that community. But beyond that, the program is free. We cover lodging, gear, outfitters, professional guides, all the things. Really, you would be responsible for your travel to and from the program. But we also have travel scholarships. We don't want financial barriers to prevent you from joining us. So let us know. We'll work with you and do what we can to get you out there. And then for one of the other kind of major components is a balance between the activity as well as rest time. And be going out during the day, doing the activity, whether that's rock climbing or kayaking or whatever it may be, and then balancing that with coming back to the lodge. Usually amazing accommodations, kind of group living, a little camp-like. They vary depending on location, but you can usually expect to share a room with maybe one or two people. Everyone has their own bed. It should be nice and comfortable. We're not necessarily, out in the woods. Got a full roof over your head, and are comfortable. And each location can be kind of tweaked, or we can work with you to find what location would work best for you and any accommodations you may need. And yeah, and then after the activity, you get back to the lodge and have a little downtime. You can rest, you can nap, get a little recharge, or just connect with your new friends. We have amazing food provided throughout the program, and probably the best you'll eat all year. Incredible chefs, and take good care of you. But enough of me blabbering. I would love to hear from some of our alumni that are on this call. Savage, if you want to kick it off and share a little bit about your experience.
Sure. So, MS kind of came crashing into my life. I had two 1 month hospital stays in the summer of 2018, along with a history of unexplained things, as many of us do. And then I was finally diagnosed in early 2019. I first discovered First Descents when I moved to Denver in 2014. And at the time, they were just doing the oncology trips. And my sister-in-law's brother had brain cancer. So that's kind of how I got interested in them. Little did I know that 10 years later, I would be going on one of the trips with my MS. Um, I went whitewater kayaking at the Rogue River in Oregon in July of 2024, and it changed my life. They gave me, or the trip gave me, the group gave me, the First Descents gave me the confidence that I can do hard things despite my MS, the sense that I finally belong somewhere, being surrounded for a full week with other people that live with MS, even though we didn't always share the same symptoms, but they had their own struggles, was just so comforting. And it was like the first time I didn't have to feel like I had to explain myself or give an excuse for why I was or am the way I am. So I can't emphasize that enough. It's just a very welcoming space. The freedom to go all in with support. You'll hear choose choice. Oh, I'm gonna mess it up
Challenge
now.
by choice.
There we go. Challenge by choice. Thank you, Jit. And so I felt like by the end of the week, I was like going farther and doing more things than I ever thought possible. And it's also the beginning of a beautiful friendship with my First Descents family. Like we still have a group chat. Some of us send each other holiday cards. We've been talking about maybe doing a reunion in Denver a couple years. So it's not just that 1 week you're together, it's a lifelong thing. A couple things I want you to know if you're heat intolerant, like I'm extremely heat intolerant, so I thought for sure I couldn't do one of these trips. You can absolutely do it. I went in Oregon. They were having record-breaking heat in July. And the First Descents did a wonderful job of accommodating me, keeping me cool, all those things. So don't think that that's a barrier. Also, Katniss mentioned it, but if you're on disability like me and a fixed income, you can go too, because the trip obviously is paid for everybody, but you can do a travel scholarship. And I know for me personally, I wouldn't have been able to go on the trip without that. So I really appreciate First Descents. And if you're not an athlete, you can totally do this. You do not have to be a super athlete to participate, to do the things. They will really meet you exactly where you are, and you can go as far as you want to. So, with that, I will pass it over to Jit, I think.
Yay, I found the unmute again. Okay, hi guys. I am Jit, short for just in time. I got my nickname on my first community adventure. I wanted to do a little hike before I guess I didn't realize that like the big things were these the core programs. I thought it was just a whole bunch of fun things like you could find on the website, like, oh, I want to go on a hike. And so I did. And that was my first interaction with the group itself. I had found out about um, First Descents a few years prior to going on anything with you guys. And it was because Rescue, one of the other, oh my gosh, oh, people in the office, admins, she had done a article with the Denver Post, and I had just been diagnosed with MS, and I was living up in northern Michigan, and I'm born and raised in Denver, and so my dad he'd been reading the paper and found it and sent that to me, and I got so excited, but I thought it was just in Denver, and it was something where I was like, oh, okay. But fast forward a few years, I moved back home and I started to get involved with First Descents. And I went on my first adventure last May, and I went surfing in Outer Banks, North Carolina. And I loved it. I almost didn't go. 2 weeks before, because Savage is my best friend, got her. She had been invited to the First Descents Gala, and so we got to go and share our experiences with the people who give their wonderful money to help fund this. And also, I got the chance to talk to the people who are running the adventures. And so I got to talk to some of those people, found the guides that were in my group, and they gave me the guidance that I'd be fine. And I want to pass that along to anyone who is nervous. You can do this. And as Savage said, you don't have to be athletic. You can do it. They'll meet you there. And it's worth it. You'll love your trip. Yeah, that is it. I am here to ramble on for any questions you guys might have after we're done talking. Thank you.
Thank you both so much. That was wonderful. I loved hearing bits of your stories, and I mean, we were chatting before the call how we've seen you, around and, your names and helped get you out on programs, but don't always get to hear the whole back end of how you found us. So thank you for sharing that. And as Jit mentioned, she started out with our community adventures. That's the slide I have up on the screen right now. You're welcome to do a community adventure before a week long, after a week long. I guess not during, but anywhere in between. And there isn't a limit to how many you attend. They're also 18 plus, so you can bring along a caregiver, a friend, plus one. They're a great way to get started if you're not sure, and kind of want to get your feet wet with what we're all about. But I'm just gonna share one last slide here. Just a little bit more information on our kind of ethos around our programs, cooking whole food, having those chefs present so that you're nourished through the activity, you're nourished throughout the week, and also having some mindful moments throughout, whether you're on program or off. Even right now, you can access those resources online through our website. And we have kind of ongoing programming for those Mindfulness Mondays. We've got YouTube channels with plenty of mindfulness practices to follow along with. So there's a lot available to you, even if you're not quite ready to join us on a program yet. But if you are ready to join us on a program, I'm going to kick it back to Lumos / Summer and share a little bit of information on what registration looks like coming up and take it away.
Cool. Again, thank you, Jit and Savage, for sharing. And obviously, thank you, Katniss, for sharing that. Yeah, so our 2026 program schedule / registration opens on February 2nd. So mark your calendars if you're ready to get out there this year. What that looks like is if you have already completed that join us form, so you filled that out, you put in that information, you received an email with a login that gets you into your portal. In your portal, you'll see all the programs available for the MS community this year. What you'll do is rank your programs 1, 2, and 3, top to first choice to third choice. And that'll stay open for a few weeks, so it's not first come, first serve. So get in there when you can. And then by early March, you'll hear from us if you've been selected for a program, and communication flows from there on getting the process going. That's really the gist of it. For the next 10 minutes, we can open it up to any questions you all might have. You can throw it in the chat or come off mute if you want. And if there are no questions, that's okay too. And if any come up later, you can email us programs at firstdescents.org. I am probably going to be the one responding to you. So, yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So for the week-long programs, can we bring our like significant others, aka caregivers?
So actually, that's a great question. The week-long programs are for you specifically. We don't allow plus ones, but we do have specific caregiver programs. If your caregiver falls within that 18 to 45-year-old age range, they can apply for a caregiver program specifically. We just really emphasize the reason we don't allow the plus ones is so that you can really bond and connect with others with MS and just kind of connect that way and create your own community. But I encourage them to apply for a caregiver program if they're interested.
Okay.
Yeah. Brittany asked, is there typically a long wait for week longs? I feel like this kind of varies year to year. Oh, I thought someone came off mute. Kind of varies year to year depending on how many programs we're hosting and where we're hosting them. Some programs have a longer wait list than others. It's just the luck of the draw, I would say, whatever folks are feeling that year. And so we do really take into consideration a few different selection criteria. So we really try and get everyone out on their first choice, and at least offer a spot. And so I would say maybe well, oh my gosh, I can't even talk. The typical wait, if you don't get in that first year, you'll probably get in that second year that you apply for a program, but we're always pulling people from our wait list. So and we pull people from the wait list if someone has maybe had to cancel on the program and there's a spot open. So you have a really good chance of getting in on the first time you apply. It's just, does it line up with your schedule and your medical schedule? And yeah, I know that's like not a very definite answer, but there's a really good chance that you will get in on your first choice first year.
Another question. So
Yeah.
about the transportation aid, how would we apply for that?
Yeah, good question. So that is if you are selected, like say you're selected for the surfing program, you get the information and log into your portal. You have a handful of forms to complete. On that first form, there'll be a question, are you interested in a travel scholarship? Then you mark yes, and then it's a few questions, just background information. So you wouldn't apply for it before you get selected for a program. You'd get it, or you would apply for it after you get selected. But it's a very easy, open-ended answer question application.
Okay. Do they look at your like income and stuff?
No, we don't look at like we're not going to ask you how much you make a year. It's going to be very simple. Like, are you like I think it's called classific income classification. So are you a single income household or are you a multi-income household? Do you work full-time, part-time, unemployed, on medical? Just simple questions like that. Nothing too I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. Nothing too
Okay.
personal, but yeah,
All right.
I hope that helps.
Yeah, I think I'll qualify. I really don't make a lot.
Yeah, and I mean, even if you need a little help or if you need, your full travel covered, apply either way. We look at it. I mostly look at it. Katniss looks at it, and so we'll work with you and meet you where you're at. So yeah.
All right.
Rodolfo asked, I use a wheelchair full time. How accessible are these trips? Um, That might be a question that we can take offline if you want to email us at programs at firstdescents.org. I just want to give it the attention that it deserves. And so I'd love to take the conversation and I mean, we can hop on a call or something too and just chat through options and the details of the trips, just because also each program location and activity is different. And so um, just want to give it the conversation it deserves. Cool. Brittany asked, do we have to provide any medical paperwork? Yes. So, or anything we need to provide. The number one piece and the longest piece of paperwork to get back is every oncology and MS participant has to get a medical release form completed by their provider or medical professional who knows you best. Some people um, have their oncologist fill it out or your PCP, whoever it may be. And that'll become available once you are placed on the program or selected. It's just a 7-pager. It's really nothing too complicated. Just gives us a nicer background of your medical history and anything that maybe we need to know or your lead staff for the week need to know. Um, and just it helps you out, it helps us out on the back end, and so just making sure we provide the safest and best program for you. Glad it helped, Jackie. Any other questions for me, for our alumni, for Katniss? Um,
Can I say something to Jackie in
Yeah.
regards to that? So I also like I went on a surf trip. I missed that in my little ramble. Or no, I didn't. I said it. But I think that this community is great because it is like focused around the fact that hey, we have MS, so something we aren't the most athletic people, and I was worried about going around the like surfing instructors going, okay, you guys are all buff and are able to do this. And I was afraid like I was going to be judged by them. Our whole group was. We're like, who? We weren't. Everyone was absolutely kind. And like they were so encouraging. And like it was the most amazing thing. So, yes, you can do this. And the support staff, the outside people who are helping with the activities are amazing. So, yes, you can do this.
Yay, that's what it sounds like. That makes me very excited. Just the thought of being surrounded by other people who understand kind of made me a little teary. I feel like I might need that more than just, pushing my limits in a physical way. I need the community. So that sounds amazing. I do have a question. I signed up on the website for like whatever, you sign up and you put your info in and you're like, hey, yeah, you'll find out about our stuff. But I never got any emails. Should I just sign up again? Or like maybe I put the wrong email address in or something? Or I don't know. I'm
Hmm.
asked question.
Um, let me, you know what? I can double check real quick. And if not, we can get you reset up. Actually, yeah, I don't see you in here. Oh, yes, I do. Jacqueline, that's your full
Okay,
name.
that sounds cool.
Um,
You said something about like a portal or whatever. Should I just look harder
yeah,
in my huge inbox for
I
a portal?
would I would double check and maybe look in your spam. And if not, I see your email in here and I can just send you an email tomorrow and just follow up and we can get you sorted out.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah.
If anybody uses Gmail, I found that the first descent, excuse me, a lot of the emails were going to my promotion, so I just like added them to the address book and it stopped, and they now come in my regular email.
That is very good to know. We will also pass that little bit of feedback on too. I think it's been happening more often than we think. So thank you. Um, okay, well, on that amazing last note, I won't keep you all any longer. So thank you again so much for joining. We hope this was helpful. And again, reach out with any questions you might have. Otherwise, mark your calendars for February 2nd. And hopefully we'll be talking to you all soon. Have a good night, afternoon, wherever you are.